Think about the exact moment you transition from your real life into your business every morning. For the vast majority of solo operators, digital consultants, and independent builders, that transition looks identical. You open your laptop, and before your mind has even fully warmed up, you open Google Calendar and Gmail. In that single, unthinking motion, you have surrendered control of your day. You have stepped out of the role of a strategic visionary and into the role of a reactive, defensive firefighter. Your highest energy, most creative cognitive hours are instantly cannibalized by other people's priorities, inbound pitches, and scheduling friction. We treat this daily administrative drag as an unavoidable cost of doing business, a tax we must pay for the privilege of working for ourselves. But the reality is much more severe. This manual loop is a slow, quiet drain on your creative leverage, slowly eating away at your deep work blocks before you ever get a chance to build something scalable. When modern automation and artificial intelligence tools went mainstream, the promise was that this operational friction would vanish overnight. We were told we could simply offload our administrative burdens to a public chatbot. But if you have actually tried using basic, out-of-the-box AI tools to handle your daily professional workflows, you know the experience is deeply frustrating. The output is glaringly artificial. It produces sterile, predictable text stuffed with corporate cliches like, "I hope this email finds you well," or "Let's circle back and touch base." It sounds entirely robotic, stiff, and completely detached from your authentic human voice. You end up spending more time editing the text, fixing the strange formatting, and rewriting the sentences than it would have taken to just type the message yourself from scratch. The standard chat interface is fundamentally broken for solopreneurs because it possesses no persistent memory, no understanding of your client history, and no awareness of your operational boundaries. True leverage does not come from chatting with a bot. It comes from engineering an invisible, continuous architecture behind the scenes. It means transforming your Google Workspace from a passive set of tools into an active, self-sustaining assistant workflow. Today, we are breaking down the definitive setup for 3 essential Google Flow automations designed specifically to rescue 30 to 60 minutes of your day, every single day. This is the shift from playing an endless game of administrative catch-up to becoming a true systems architect. We are deploying a framework that actively triages your correspondence, defends your time blocks, and automates your post-meeting execution entirely in the background, allowing you to run a high-revenue operation with zero administrative overhead. The first critical breakdown in a solo business occurs within the inbound communication pipeline. When a client, lead, or partner messages you, they expect a prompt, professional, and clear response. But manually drafting 20 separate context-heavy updates a day requires an immense amount of decision-making energy. To solve this, we construct the autonomous Gmail air traffic controller. This system functions by pairing Google Workspace APIs with a structured linguistic model to process inbound mail completely outside of your active focus. Instead of you reading an email and staring at a blank screen, the workflow intercepts the message the moment it hits your server, processes it through your operational business logic, and deposits a perfectly articulated, voice-matched response directly into your Gmail drafts folder. The mechanics of this execution rely on an underlying 3-layer context framework. When a new email arrives, the automation doesn't just read the raw text. First, it pulls data from a persistent context layer containing your core business details, active service menus, and project statuses. Second, it applies your strict operational rule layer, such as your refusal to take meetings on certain days or your standard turnaround times. Third, it applies your personal voice profile using a linguistic conversion model. If a client writes in asking for an update on a deliverable, the system doesn't guess or hallucinate. It references your active operational documentation, identifies the exact status, and drafts a clean, professional response that matches your natural vocabulary. When you log into your inbox at the end of a deep work block, your role is completely transformed. You are no longer a manual typist drowning in a sea of unread notifications. You are a managing editor. You open your drafts folder, quickly skim the pre-rendered responses your system has assembled, make any necessary micro-adjustments for personal human nuance, and hit send. You can clear a massive queue of complex client inquiries in less than 5 minutes, maintaining an elite level of responsiveness while keeping your cognitive energy entirely preserved for high-leverage execution. The second point of extreme vulnerability for any solopreneur is the calendar. Most independent operators rely on public scheduling links to eliminate the back and forth of setting up meetings. While this solves the scheduling puzzle, it introduces a dangerous new problem. It allows external parties to completely hijack your daily schedule. A prospect book a call right in the middle of your primary deep work window, or a non-urgent sync gets dropped directly between two intensive production blocks, shattering your cognitive continuity for the entire afternoon. To reclaim sovereign control over your time, we deploy the Calendar Boundary Guard. This automation acts as an intelligent, automated gatekeeper between your public scheduling tools and your actual Google Calendar. The workflow monitors your calendar in real time, enforcing complex, conditional rules that standard booking software cannot handle. For example, you can program the system to analyze your active project load inside your business tracker. If you are within 48 hours of a major project deadline, the automation instantly alters your calendar availability, automatically blocking out open slots and shifting prospect meetings to the following week without you lifting a finger. Furthermore, the system executes an automated pre-meeting qualification sequence. The moment a calendar event is created, the automation extracts the attendee's domain, cross-references it with your internal systems or public profiles, and pulls a concise background brief on their business. It then injects this context directly into the description field of the calendar event. When you step into a call, you don't waste 10 minutes asking basic exploratory questions. You open the invite, review the system's automated summary, and instantly lead a highly targeted, high-value conversation, saving significant time on every single call. The final major time leak in the solopreneur workflow happens the exact moment a call ends. We often celebrate finishing a productive client alignment or discovery call, only to realize we now face 20 to 30 minutes of tedious administrative wrap-up. You have to compile your rough notes, extract the core action items, update your internal project management dashboard, and draft a structured follow-up summary to send to the client. This post-meeting administrative hangover is incredibly inefficient, frequently causing critical tasks to slip through the cracks and stalling the momentum of your projects. We eliminate this operational friction entirely by building the post-meeting execution pipeline. The moment a Google Meet or calendar event concludes, it acts as a system-wide trigger. The automation immediately captures the cloud-based transcript or audio recording of the session and feeds it into an advanced processing sequence. The system ignores the casual small talk and focuses exclusively on extracting the core strategic elements: explicit project agreements, requested revisions, assigned responsibilities, and hard deadlines. Once these elements are isolated, the automation executes a multi-pronged distribution sequence. First, it converts the raw action items into structured tasks, pushing them directly into your primary project database with assigned due dates. Second, it formats a polished, comprehensive meeting summary document and archives it in your client documentation folder. Finally, it drafts a clear, professional follow-up email addressed to the client, outlining exactly what was discussed and what the next steps are, and places it right in your Gmail drafts. Instead of spending your afternoon updating spreadsheets and formatting emails, you simply review the automated outputs, click Confirm, and seamlessly move on to your next high-value priority. When you analyze these three specific automations from a cold, purely analytical perspective, the return on investment is undeniable. The average solo operator loses between 45 and 90 minutes every single day to the manual upkeep of email triage, calendar management, and post-meeting documentation. That represents a direct burn of up to nearly 10 hours of your highest leverage cognitive focus every single week. By shifting these repetitive tasks to a systematic assistant workflow, your daily administrative processing window drops to less than 10 minutes total. You are effectively reclaiming hundreds of hours of pure strategic execution time over the course of a single year. The ultimate truth of running an independent business is that micromanaging your own logistics is an operational dead end. Every single minute you spend playing calendar ping pong or manually sorting emails is a direct theft from your deepest creative work blocks. Your practical assignment over the next 24 hours is to look closely at your last 3 post-meeting follow-ups. Isolate the recurring action items, deadlines, and project data points you always have to format. Put these repeating structural pieces into a centralized text snippet and use it as the foundational rule set for your very first post-call script loop. If you are ready to stop fighting daily calendar fires and want to deploy the complete technical architecture that links your inbox directly to an automated post-meeting execution engine, the Google Flow Blueprint templates are waiting for you in the description down below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because in our very next system breakdown, we are exploring how to chain multiple webhook triggers together to run an entire multi-platform content calendar completely untouched. See you in the next analysis.